Hey kitchen besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to unbox the GreenPan GP5 ceramic nonstick cookware set, not for the first time and not for the second time, but for a third time because the first two times I ordered this off of Amazon, I got scammed. And I'm still not entirely sure how it happened because on the official listing for this product on Amazon, there is an unauthorized reseller that is selling this set at almost half price, which does sound too good to be true, but at the same time, it's only certain colors. I assumed it was just an overstock set, but after getting two defective sets, one with a lid that did not match, and the second set with a ton of chips and something rattling in one of the handles, I finally called GreenPan because that was not the kind of quality that I was expecting to be purchasing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the first unboxing. Hey kitchen besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to unbox the GreenPan GP5 ceramic nonstick pots and pans set. My husband and I have been on the hunt for a new set of pots and pans for about a year and a half now, and the delay has been due to people other than my husband. And even then, I'm not convinced that this is the best set of pots and pans that I could have purchased, but it checked most of my boxes. I figured I would be happy to give it a try and give a full review in 6 months to a year, depending on when I can see the first signs of wear and tear, or if the nonstick coating has started to wear off, and then let you know about it to hopefully prevent you from purchasing or encourage purchasing, depending on how it goes. I have not tried any of their pans before, so I'm going in totally blind. This retails for $1,000 on GreenPan's website. They usually have sales of anywhere from $600 to $750. I was ready to purchase it when it went down to $650, and then my husband found it on Amazon, this set, for $423. So I did end up buying it through Amazon. I figure that's probably going to be better for an immediate return if I find that any of the pans have chipped. I purchased this set in Cloud Cream, which is this really nice, like creamy cloud color. And one last thing before I get in here, because I know I will get asked, I went with ceramic nonstick instead of stainless steel because you cannot beat the cleanup of nonstick pans over stainless steel. I have a recipe blog called the Floral Apron where every single recipe has a cleanup rating, so you know that cleanup is a very important factor to me, and that's why I went with ceramic nonstick over stainless steel. And I think that's enough background. Let's get into it. The back of the box does tell you a little bit more with the heavy gauge 5mm hard anodized bodies, the Balance Pro base, armored body, magneto induction technology, stainless steel handles, silhouette rivets, which very, very nice, low dome stainless steel lid, oven and broiler safe up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit, metal utensil safe, and dishwasher safe. And all I'm gonna say about it being metal utensil safe is if it was really metal utensil safe, they would have shipped it with metal utensils and not silicone ones. So I don't plan to use metal utensils because I don't want to have to replace these in a couple years. I highly recommend you don't for the longest lasting cookware. Oh, it's like that cardboard that does the break when you fold it the opposite direction. I love that sound. Everything is packed in here pretty nicely. I'll take these out one at a time. These are our 3 silicone utensils. The handles are a little short compared to what I'm used to. This is my favorite spoonula from Dioro. Oh, they just feel shorter. Interesting. A Renew sponge. Comes with a video and how-to. Kind of a nice touch. Oh, that's kind of cute. How to take care of the pans that take care of you. I will look into that a little bit later, but I want to get these out. I'm gonna try to very carefully slide them. Move that over a little bit so you can still see this. Okay, there is not a lot of excess packaging in here, which I really like. And if you're watching this unboxing to try to fit your pans back into the box to send them back, here you go. There is the stock pot lid. Ooh, I kind of like this. There is one tiny little hole for air to escape. Doesn't look like there are any chips on this. I Handle's got a nice weight to it, and it fits my hands really nicely. I do have smaller hands, but there's still plenty of room for you to grab on. I'm curious how hot the handle is going to get while cooking, if I'm gonna need to use a hot pad, or if you can just quickly like, whoop, as one does. I love the color on the inside. Oh, these rivets. Oh, my husband is gonna be very happy about that. That is his least favorite thing when washing pots and pans, is that the rivets that we have on our Circulon set come out a lot and food really gets stuck. These are great. Very excited for those. So that is the 3.3 quart saucepan. Saucepan? Yes, 3.3 quart saucepan with lid. But that's not the lid. No. This is the 3.3, does not specify, Sauté Pan and Lid. This is like really deep. I kind of like the feel of the bottom. It's almost, I want to say a softer sandpaper, but kind of like textured walls where there's a little bit of a texture. This is smooth. Kind of an odd size, but I think I like it. The best part of new products is just tossing everything on the floor and dealing with it later. That's good. This is the 9.5-inch fry pan. Yeah, because this is gonna be the 11. Again, looks very nice. I don't see any chips. It feels really nice. This is the Sauté pan with lid. This one looks good. Okay, that one matches. Does that look like a different color to you? That is a different color. This has more blue to it. Okay, well, definitely gonna contact them about that one. But if that's the only problem, no, that's fine. I did not realize these were totally felt. The pictures online made them look kind of like they were silicone. So these are their pan protectors if you wanted to stack them. Theoretically, these pan separators mean that you shouldn't need to purchase the pan and lid racks, but I'm not taking any chances. So this is, okay, that is not the same color. This has a good feel to it. These are lighter than I was expecting them to be. I thought they were gonna be pretty hefty, and there is a good weight to them, but they're not as heavy as I thought they were gonna be. See, this matches. That one does not. And then this is the 5-quart stock pot with lid. This is the 11-inch fry pan. Oh, those recessed rivets are really nice. I still think food is gonna get stuck in that little tiny crevice, but that's gonna be so much easier to clean than what we have currently. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll do the pan protector right now while I stack these. This is very clearly a different color. I wonder if that is an Amazon thing or a GreenPan thing. It's subtle. I don't know if the camera is gonna be able to pick it up, but there is very clearly a more blue tinge to this. It's almost like it only did 2 coats of paint instead of 3. Interesting. GreenPan supposedly has a pretty good warranty. I'm hoping that if I bring this up that it will be a non-issue. But I don't know, we'll find out. Lids and handles are constructed to minimize heat transfer, though both may become hot during cooking. We'll see how hot the handles get and the lid handles get. I won't know until I use them. Everything here is good up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Welcome to GreenPan. We're proud of the things we don't put in our pans. Our nonstick coating is free of PFAS, PFOA, lead, and cadmium. Make sure the pan doesn't get too hot because it can burn your oil. Don't use spray oils, only use a little bit of butter or oil. Softer tools are best, that's why they don't send metal utensils with it. Always clean your pan thoroughly after each use. Oil, lower heat, and hand washing equals a longer life. I'm curious how long the nonstick is gonna last, if it's gonna be 1 to 2 years, 3 or 4, maybe even 5 to 6, that might be pushing it. They recommend using avocado oil, canola oil, and grapeseed oil. Cleanup. Our pans are easy to clean with a soft sponge or brush and warm soapy water. They're also dishwasher safe, although we suggest hand washing to prolong the life of your pan's coating. So this, I thought this was a melamine sponge, wanted confirmation. They do say this is a melamine sponge in this book here. Okay, and then the rest of it is not in a language that I speak. Let me show you the pan racks, and then I think we'll be good. That is going to be a tripping hazard. Okay, so here is the cookware rack and the lid organizer. Cookware rack retails for $40, the lid organizer retails for $30. These have coated edges so that you don't risk dinging your pans even when you put them in the organizer to prevent dinging them. This holds 3 pans, so that's gonna be probably, I don't think it's gonna fit this pan. It does. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, this lid organizer does not seem to work that great with this guy in here. That's a close fit, but it does fit. That fits pretty nicely. If I go this way, it kind of holds, but if it goes too far over, then it's in its neighbor's home. Yeah, I'm not. If it has more of like a support there with the paper, that works. There's just not a way that feels like it fits. This is not a, oh, just throw it however you like. This requires testing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I realized that part of the problem was that I was putting the lids in backwards, so I tried with the lids flipped the next day and it did work better. However, I wasn't impressed enough to keep it. I then gave the cookware rack a try and I realized I couldn't fit the pans in the rack without moving up my shelf, which I didn't want to do, so I ended up returning both racks. I'll give you a close-up of the bottom here. You can see this texture. I'm wondering if the paint is going to discolor or even chip off. I just can't imagine this looking like this in another year, but it shouldn't affect overall performance. And who is looking at the bottoms of your pans anyways? I'm not. All right, so I think I'm going to peel the sticker off of the small fry pan here and see how it performs with eggs. I do love a sticker that does not leave residue. All right, let's wash this. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. All right, that actually washed up really nicely. You can tell that there's nonstick coating for sure. I think this should be pretty good for frying an egg just to see how it goes. So let's try that. Preheat it for 90 seconds while I get to my eggs. Here's my pat of butter. It was 3 grams of butter. This is taking longer than I thought it would for the butter to melt. Doesn't really coat the pan very well. It's just kind of there. See how hot the pan is. It's reading 229, 234, so it is heating up. If I'm gonna eat these, I want them to be good. True test. Ooh, okay, that is pretty good. Not too shabby. I'm gonna try to flip them, but you can't make fun of me if the yolks break, okay? Deal? They don't move around like they did in my old pan. I can move them with my spatula here. Let's try that. Ooh! All right, temperature is now up to 278. Still moving around. My yolks did not break. All right, they're done, so I turned off the heat. I'll try to flip them one more time just for aesthetics sake. That was a pretty good showing. I'm impressed with this so far. This is very much nonstick. I don't normally cook without any sort of oil or butter, so I can't speak to the nonstick qualities of not having to use any sort of oil or just like a 1/16 of a second of a spray of Pam. But I'm very happy with this so far. I love the lighter interior color. That's really nice. Let me put some of this away before I give you final thoughts. All right, first impressions, not too bad. There is a little bit of weight here. This is still kind of hot. It would probably be fine. I'm gonna put it on the felt. These all have some weight, but it feels like quality and not unnecessary weight. The handle does get warm at this joint up to about here, and then it stays pretty cold. This is still warm from making my egg about 10 minutes ago, but I can hold it. I also really like the color of the ceramic nonstick. They could have gone a lot darker, closer to black, but this is a really nice charcoal gray that makes it easy to see what's in your pan. That's great for food photography, which was one of the reasons that I went with this set over another. It just makes it a lot easier to tell when your butter is properly browned or when things are getting to that point of no return. I prefer lighter colored pans for that, so this is really nice. Put this here. Overall, I think this has been a pretty good purchase so far. I'm excited to get to use these over the next few months and let you know how I feel about them. And I'm curious what customer support is gonna say about that lid, so I'll keep you updated. And this is why we keep the box. I contacted GreenPan customer support and they got back to me in less than a business day, but they let me know that because I purchased it through a third party, they have to honor their 30-day agreements. I would have to just repackage the whole thing, return it, and then order a new one. So I have a new one on the way, but I need to repackage this one. I took a screenshot of how all of these pans were arranged in the box to hopefully be able to fit them back in here and get the box shut. Let's hope I can do it. I kept the stickers that go inside of the pots. You're really not gonna be able to tell that I've used these at all. Hopefully they don't get sent to somebody else as a new item, but there's no damage and you have my blessing if you wanna keep the strange colored lid. There we go. Everything came in a bag. I will say I've liked these enough to reorder them without hesitation. Everything is bagged. Now on to assembly. What are we working with? Big skillet on bottom, pan protector, stock pot. I don't know what that is. This one. Pot. Hey, that's looking good. Where do all the lids go? Oh, and the sponge. The utensils just went through the dishwasher. They're still warm. Okay, this lid, you are here. You go there. Where do you go? I think I need to watch the video, hold on. Okay. I think I got it. This guy, oh, were you in this one? This fits, that fits. Because then we will have this, and then, okay, we're not looking for perfection, we just want safe. And this is safe. Okay, I hear no metal moving, I'm gonna call that good. I think that's like as good as we're gonna get. There is a separator, right? These guys, sides. I don't know where this guy went. Definitely don't know where you go. My 3 utensils, my Renew sponge, and my instructions. Make sure they can't wiggle. Honestly, this looks great. One done. Oh, don't mind her. She's fine. And that was under 20 minutes. All right, time to return this thing. And now we just wait for the next one to show up and hope that it also does not have a similar issue. All right, take 2. I really hope this one works out. I'm already not super optimistic because I forgot to have them ship it in another box. So there's a little bit of damage right here, but I don't hear rattling. I would not be surprised if this ends up taking 3 tries to get it right. Okay, the box does not look like it's been opened before. It still has the reverse reflex, so I think we're off to a good start. Pencils out. Ow, there's an arm there. Okay. No chips. No chips. I'm nervous. There's a very light scuff that I don't care about. The edge looks like it's a slightly blue, but I'm not sure if that's just me worrying. Ugh. What is in here that's rattling? You hear that, right? Is it in the handle? There's something in the handle. At least the color matches. There are chips in this one. This one looks good. Hand protectors. This looks good. This one has like a small dent on the very outside of the pan, right there. I'm undecided on if I'm returning these, so I'm just giving them a thorough once over to see if these are issues that I can live with or if I want to roll the dice. All right, I have looked at all of these pans more closely. Here's where we're at. This pot has something stuck in the handle. The small fry pan has a chip on the edge. The large fry pan has a dent in the edge, and the saucepan has a bubble in the coating on the edge. So 4 out of 5 of my pans have some sort of defect. Would these be a really huge issue for most people? Probably not. But number one, I paid for a new set of pans, and these do not feel new. These feel like they were either old stock or they did not pass quality control and they got passed on. And 2, if my intent is to use them a lot to see how they hold up, I don't want to start with pans that already have issues, because those could either exacerbate with use or lead to more problems that you wouldn't have had they been in perfect condition to start with. So I'm gonna call GreenPan and I'm gonna ask if they have any sort of deal like this where they do sell lower quality products. Maybe that's not what's going on here, but it does seem kind of weird that I got 2 in a row. At least the lid matches the color this time. Dang, that's just, okay. All right, that was an enlightening phone call. I spoke with a very helpful customer service rep. Rowena says that the supplier that I am purchasing from is not an authorized third-party reseller. So she is going to let their Amazon rep know and hopefully get it taken care of. And that kind of confirms my suspicion that maybe they are buying third-party returned stock and then selling them back. So in that case, I do not recommend purchasing off of Amazon unless it is being fulfilled by Amazon.com. If it's being fulfilled by any other party, they're not an authorized reseller and you should stay away from that. So there's my little bit of investigative journalism for you. Hopefully it prevents some of you from having the same thing, but I'm going to package all of these up and then return them to UPS again. Rowena was kind enough to offer me a discount if I were to purchase directly through their website. That will bring the price a little closer to what it was on Amazon. So once I get that one, I will be back for a third unboxing. Hopefully that is the set that I get to stick with for many years to come. So stay tuned for that one. I'll see you in a bit. As I always, try 2, hopefully try 3 is the winner. Hey kitchen besties, I really do not want to have to edit a 4th version of this video. But I ordered this box from GreenPan directly. I did pay quite a bit more for it. When I called GreenPan, I asked if there was anything they could do to get that price closer to what I was paying on Amazon, and they offered me a $100 gift card and a promotional discount if I also signed up for emails. So that brought my total cost for these pans down to $550. With tax, it was about $600. Oh, and I should mention, purchasing it through the website also gave me this cookbook filled with 80 recipes. So that was kind of a nice touch. They say it's a $30 value. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, I'm nervous. I do not want to have to send a third of these back. Okay, so we've got our 3 utensils. They always come dusty. I'm gonna slide these out. I'm basically an expert at this point. Get rid of these dividers. Okay, my heart is actually beating really fast. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna leave that up for quick reference. This is the 5-quart stock pot lid, the 3.3 quart saucepan or sauté pan lid, which those two look like they match. We have 3 matching lids, which is more than I can say about some of the sets I've gotten. So we're off to a good start. Care and use card, the 3 pan protectors, which these are actually in a much better condition than the other 2 sets that I got. So again, good sign, still nervous. This is the 5-quart stock pot. Looks pretty good. There's a little scrape on that. There's the 3.3 quart saucepan, not sauté pan. This one looks good. There are always a couple pieces of cardboard that get stuck, so if you think that there's a scratch as soon as you open it up, just touch it once and it usually comes off, unless of course it's a bad batch. So far, these all look pretty good. I don't hear anything rattling in this handle. I'm looking for chips, for scrapes, obvious flaws in the manufacturing, and this so far looks to be the best set that I've gotten, which praise the Lord. And you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm doing a second look over all of these just to make sure. I always run a finger along the edge to see if there are any big chips. This one, it looks like there is a slight dent, but it's not big, and it's on the outside away from the cooking surface. Might get worse over time, and it is getting into the side. Okay, these look good. There's this really, really tiny double dent on the outside of this, which might end up resulting in the chipping of the ceramic nonstick at some point. If that's the only issue, I think I'm willing to live with that. But these all match, right? I forgot to do the check with, oh, they do all match. All right, now that I know that I'm keeping this set, again, the handle feels really nice. There's a good weight on the bottom. Washing this up in the first unboxing video was a breeze, and it fried eggs really nicely. And I like the look of the bottom of this cookware set with kind of like a stucco-y feel. I'm not sure how it's gonna do with a gas stove, but that is definitely something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. My overall third impression is that this is a pretty nice nonstick set. I'm curious to see how long the ceramic nonstick holds up, because most nonstick pans are really good the first few times you use them, and then they slowly lose their non-stickiness over time, and then you're just left with a stick pan. I'm not gonna be testing these pans to their limits. I'm just gonna be using them like a normal person would for 6 months to a year and see how the nonstick holds up that way. I'm not gonna use metal utensils. I'm not gonna put them in the dishwasher. I'm not gonna use anything over medium heat. I really just want to see how long this nonstick quality lasts, because this is my first set of ceramic nonstick pans. So if that's something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss when that comes out. And if you want to check out my other reviews to see if they are helpful for you, I have a full review on the Breville Smart Oven Air Fryer Pro and the Cuisinart Custom 14 food processor. And if you're wondering why I would do something like this, my name is Alyssa, and I am the recipe developer, food photographer, and blogger behind the Floral Apron, where I share new recipes almost every week. You can find them on my website, floralapron.com, which just got a brand new look, and I highly recommend you check it out. I do a lot of recipe development and use a lot of kitchen gear, and I would so much rather spend the money myself to let you know if it's worth your money. I am gonna be switching over from my old Circulon nonstick cookware to this GP5 cookware. So if you want kind of a sneak peek at how this set is performing, I would highly recommend subscribing so you can see all of my new recipes using this set in real time. And if you have any questions about this set, please let me know in the comments. I would love to do my best to answer them. If I don't have an answer for you immediately, I will keep it in mind so that I can answer it in the review video after I've had the set for a few months. And if you've been eyeing this set for a little bit and this video has convinced you to purchase, I would really appreciate it if you use the affiliate link in the description. It is through Amazon, so please make sure that you are getting it fulfilled by Amazon and not a third party, because I do not want anybody else to go through the hassle of what I just went through. I know this video has been a little different than usual, so I really appreciate you sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.